Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Su. I'm assistant professor in the College of Communication, also affiliate faculty member of the Computing and Data Science faculty. So today is a truly pleasure to join my fellow colleagues to talk about responsible AI, but keep it real. Actually, like many of my other speakers, I won't dive too deep into the AI tech stuff. Instead, I want to talk about something more relatable, responsibility. So think of it like values we will care about, like privacy, accountability, or fairness. So I'm here to break down how those values play out and how they change within the rules set by those digital platforms. And I will use TikTok as an example to demonstrate our study. So, many of the speakers mentioned that paragraph. So this paragraph definitely sounds familiar to you. It's the kind of text you will probably encounter when you want to sign up for a new social media app. And if you are brave enough to click on that read for more information link, and next to the I agree button, you'll get to that page. When you do that, it wakes you away to a page full of this text. So we are talking about policy documents that including community guidelines, terms of use, and privacy policies that digital platforms publish those documents to its public and to its users. So they are the so-called rule books of how everyone behave on their turf. But here's the kicker. Those policy documents are not installed. They're not static. Instead, they change all the time. They swap words around, they turn verbs into nouns, they suddenly get rid of the old privacy rules and cook up some new fresh one to decide why your content is to be removed. Okay, so in fancy terms, they are what Thailand Galaxy called discursive performance and governance frameworks. And by that, we mean those platforms use them to make it clear that they have the right to call a shot in online digital wars. So according to some of the platformization scholars, also myself is one of them, who study platforms, values are like the platform's way of showing off. So think of it as a personal branding for platforms. And those values and the rules are like the mission statement. Okay, so showing that what they want from us and what it stands for and what they expect from the users. They're kind of like the golden rules for the digital neighborhood, like watch out, behave yourself to your neighbors. But one important question remains, how would they like us to behave? So to understand what those values and how they change over time in the world of digital platform, we list some of the common ones, including privacy, authenticity, and accountability, fairness. It's a pretty neat coincidence that some of those values actually align with our topic today. So we create this very cool tool. It's called a policy time machine. It's a Python-based swimmer, like a time-traveling robot that collects new and old platform policies. So I'm gonna to use TikTok example to speed the beans on this huge international collaborative research project. Through that tool, we got over 25,000 snapshots of TikTok's community guidelines, and we did some dive into that data. 3 levels to be exact. We try to understand how the words and the phrases they used. Look at how frequent they talk about each of the different values, and also we did some close reading to understand the vibe of different policy versions. We made a special tool to compare all of those policy documents one by one, in the lexical level, value level, and qualitative semantic level. It looked like looking for some hiding secret from this time-lapse short video. Most changes are not as big as you can see from here. They're very subtle, invisible, and easy to miss. Then we made sort of map to see how those values hang out with each other. We call it as value-laden network. One big surprise is that authenticity and accountability became a hot topic in the year of 2020, and values like privacy and fairness got less attention. So in short, those values indeed shift with those platform policies. They started to care more about rules, regulations, content moderation, violations, removals, or disclaimer, who's responsible for that kind of content. And they talk less about privacy and the fairness. We'll also run some analysis to track how those platform policies have changed over time and how their values evolved. Although I don't have time to dive into those nitty-gritty detail of our analysis, but I can share some very key findings. So our research revealed that when it comes to platforms like TikTok, and their policy evolution follows three distinct policies. The first one is the one we called our mediation path. So when deal with sensitive values, for example, privacy and fairness, they will try to make certain values more visible and other values more invisible. The second path is called reversive rules, when they try to completely remove a value or adding a new value. It takes several rounds for them to change a policy over the time and do that silently and give you impression it didn't change anything in the process. The last path is called construction maintenance reconstruction path. It's a more nuanced tactic. They're selectively trying to emphasize certain values and downplay some values. So to conclude, our study suggests that policymakers and stakeholders of platform are constantly tweaking the visibility and the prominence of platform values in the governance framework, make it work quite complex. But you may wonder, what drives them to change those values? Well, it's a bit of long story, but a quick answer to that. TikTok, for example, platform like TikTok, they often adjust their values and policies response to public feedback and concerns, advocates for movement and social media. If you want all the juicy details, you can check out our newly published research article in the journal New Media Society. Thanks for listening.